Hi, this is Jen Maleka, your functional diagnostic health practitioner and expert, and I wanted to dive in this week and talk to you about whether or not you might have a thyroid problem. If you are struggling with maybe feeling fat, sick, or tired all the time, these could be signature signs of an underlying thyroid problem. Now, it has been estimated that 12% of the US population will develop a thyroid condition sometime during their lifetime. And of those people, up to 60% don't or won't know that they have a thyroid issue, usually because it's been misdiagnosed or really overlooked. And of those people, women are 5 to 8 times more likely to have a thyroid condition than men. Now, I know that I'm part of the 12%, but do you know if you could be too? If you're struggling with high cholesterol, depression, weight gain, relentless fatigue, feeling unwell often, or even constipation, then you just might have a thyroid problem. If you don't know, the thyroid is a hard-working butterfly-shaped gland that sits right in front of your throat, as pictured here on my nice little diagram. It produces a variety of thyroid hormones and is part of the endocrine system, which is a group of glands that work together to produce hormones. The thyroid is in charge of some really critical bodily functions, such as appetite, absorption of nutrients, and digestions of fats, heart rate, heartbeat strength and the intake of oxygen, blood flow and body temperature, cellular energy production, brain development and maturation, as well as sexual function, sleep, and even your thought patterns. So I would say that it's pretty important to make sure your thyroid is up and running and to be aware if you might have or be at risk for a thyroid condition. Now, some of the most common symptoms of a thyroid condition can include things like I already mentioned, constipation, bloating or weight gain or weight loss, depression, anxiety, or just mood swings in general, maybe hair loss, facial hair growth, dry hair or skin, irregular periods, infertility, miscarriages or low libido, high cholesterol, heart racing or trouble breathing, cold hands or feet, or feeling just generally cold when others aren't, and fatigue that's not relieved even after a full night of sleep, and brain fog. Now, like I said, those are just some of the most common symptoms that can be correlated back to a thyroid condition. Because the thyroid oversees so many actions in the body, and symptoms can be far removed from the root cause, thus the thyroid can often be overlooked when, as a factor when your health starts to head south, essentially. So this week, I want to help you get to know your thyroid a little bit better so you can get to the bottom of any potential thyroid problems that you might have or prevent them from developing in the future. Now, the traditional approach to testing thyroid function usually involves a blood test to look at thyroid stimulating hormone, also known as TSH. And if you're lucky, your doctor might also include a marker for thyroid hormone T4 or T3. But unfortunately, traditional testing typically falls short when evaluating thyroid health for a number of reasons. So let's take a look first at how the thyroid works to understand why traditional thyroid tests might not give you the clues that you need to know if you have a hidden thyroid problem. And I'm going to use my fancy diagram here. So first we have step 1, which is where the pituitary gland releases TSH, that thyroid stimulating hormone, to do exactly what it implies, to stimulate the thyroid gland to do its job, making TSH more of a marker really for pituitary function and an indirect marker for thyroid function. Now, step 2 is where the thyroid gland that produces an abundant amount of inactive T4 and a small amount of inactive T3 hormone known as total T4 and T3, as well as some other thyroid hormones. Now, these inactive versions usually can't be used by the body. They have to be converted into active versions. And that's where step 3 comes in. So various tissues of the body, primarily the liver and the gut, will convert total T4 into free T3 and then and then total T4 into total T3, and then free T3 and total T3 into free T3. Now some total T3 is also converted into reverse T3, a signaling hormone that stops the uptake of T3 into the cells when they've had enough. Now this can seem a little bit complex, right? But do you see how maybe a standalone TSH test, or even one that includes an additional thyroid hormone marker or two, still leaves a lot to be wondered around what exactly your thyroid might be doing and how it's performing, considering all of these moving pieces. So to more accurately evaluate your thyroid health and function, you'll want to ask your doctor or health practitioner like me to run a full thyroid panel that includes at least TSH, you want total T4 and T3, and you also want free T3 and T4, probably reverse T3, and both thyroid antibody markers TPO and TGAB to rule out autoimmunity. Now, if you suspect you have a thyroid problem and you can't get your hands on a full thyroid problem, or if you panel, or if you just want to prevent the development of a thyroid problem in the future, there's some proactive things that you can do to boost your thyroid health. One is to support your liver. Believe it or not, your liver plays a pretty big role in keeping your thyroid healthy. It's where a good chunk of thyroid hormone is converted, plus it gets rid of excess estrogen and toxins that can trigger a thyroid problem. So eat liver supporting foods such as beets, dandelion greens, and grapefruits, and consider taking a good quality liver support supplement daily that has some milk thistle and some other things in it. Now, step 2 is to get your gut in gear. Your gut is where another big chunk of thyroid hormone is converted for use, and it's where you absorb nutrients to produce thyroid and other hormones necessary to keep your body in balance. If your gut is a mess, your thyroid hormone or your thyroid will be too. Pay attention to how foods make you feel and avoid the ones that upset your digestion by making you feel gassy and bloated. You can also do a specific food sensitivity test to identify what foods might be wrecking your gut. Also aim to incorporate gut healing foods and substances such as bone broth, collagen peptides, and a really good quality probiotic. Now, step 3 is to take a stand against toxins. On average, an adult uses 9 personal care products each day with 120 unique chemical ingredients, most of which are known as endocrine disruptors, which means that they directly negatively impact thyroid function. And that doesn't include other toxins that you come in encounter with, including like cleaning products or foods. So eat organic foods as much as possible, only drink and cook with filtered water, and shift to using non-toxic, environmentally friendly cleaning products and personal care products, such as my favorite Beauty Counter. If you're proactive in these 3 areas, you're going to significantly lighten the load on your thyroid so it can return to balance or it can stay that way. Taking actions in these 3 areas helped me to restore my thyroid function too, so that I could eventually lose weight, get my energy back, and start feeling like myself again. And I still practice them to keep it that way. Now, if you need help getting your hands on the right lab tests and resources to uncover a possible thyroid problem or to restore its function, then I want to invite you to schedule a complimentary Ideal Health and Weight Discovery session with me by clicking on the link below or going back to the email where you found this. Well, that's it for this week, you guys. I hope that you understand your thyroid a little bit better and that you found this helpful. I'll see you next week on the blog.